Well, here we go again. The wings are progressing. I've put the fabric on the upper side of both wings. I've actually gone ahead and shrunk the upper side on this wing. I haven't done the other one yet, but this is the underside. The upper side's on the table. And I'm just starting to get ready to put the tapes on the fabric. So that's a pretty easy task. Here's our rib, for instance, just to look at this one in particular. We put our reinforcing tape, which I'll run from about here somewhere, right about there. This is on the leading edge. I'll get you back a little bit so you can see. All the way down to about there. So one piece of tape, about whatever, 3 feet long or whatever it is. Okay? But if you have a look at this tape, the tape is 1/2 inch. Yeah, so it's 1/2 inch wide. The flange on the rib is about 5/8 of an inch wide. So there should be a little tiny bit of rib sticking out each side of the reinforcing tape. About like that. Yeah? And I've got a roll of reinforcing, matter of fact, I've got several rolls of reinforcing tape, so there's plenty. The next step will be to go along. I'll probably get the soldering iron and just bop through those holes. But if you have a look what I've done, I've marked a line down the centre, and there's no way the rivets are going to be perfect. It's going to be the line of best fit, like, you know, you're making a graph. I drew a line on that line of best fit, a centre line, and then I've drawn a line over here, which is very difficult to see, but it is there, and that is 3/4 of an inch away from that centre line, because, the way this actually goes is this will get attached, the reinforcing tape, and then the finishing tape will go over the top of everything. The rivets have got to be put in as well yet. And the tape needs to line up on this 3/4 inch line that I've just drawn, something like that. This is just a piece of scrap tape, you know. So that's why if you've got 3/4 of an inch of tape sticking out this side, there's a fair chance that there's going to be 3/4 of an inch of tape sticking out the other side, because the tape is 1.5 inches wide. I know the math's getting pretty difficult, but that's all I'm going to do. Now, I did suffer one little tiny failure while I was shrinking this upper fabric, and it's probably also the reason why that upper fabric hasn't been shrunk yet. My $17 little iron has failed. It can only get up to about 170 degrees. So obviously one of its elements has gone west. But yeah, that was money well spent at $17. So I went to the shop today, the fabric shop, which for some reason or other, they're becoming way too familiar with me, and I bought 2 new ones. They've gone up now; they're $18 each. But because I'm a, frequent flyer with that company, they now gave me 2 for $25. So I think it's pretty good value. And I went all out and bought a pink one as well. I've got another white one and a pink one. So I think we should commission the pink one, really. There we go. Looks exactly the same as the white one. Instructions, we'll look at them if I can't get it to go. It's pretty tricky, so I might have trouble. But there you go. $25 buys you 2 of them. Matter of fact, let's just fire it up and see what temperature we can get out of it, eh? I'll grab a cup. Beautiful pink iron. There's our thermometer, and we've got, oh, look at that, 460, whatever, 450. Okay, so it's going to obviously do what we want it to do. Go ahead and adjust this. Once I find the happy 250 degree mark, I can go ahead and shrink the other. Yeah, that'll take a while to drop back, I suppose. That's about the hottest spot on this iron as well. Just on the subject, I guess, of irons, Rosie, my one of my neighbours and fellow Renegade builder, gave me this one, but it failed as well. One of its elements failed. But I think these ones are similar, you know, with the handle and everything. These are similar to what Aircraft Spruce sells, but they're like more than $100 from Aircraft. Well, have a look at the day. Absolutely superb day. Oh, there's a white cloud over there. But all the way around, absolutely. There's my windsock. I think we've got to have to do it. That's all there is to it. Let's go and have some fun. Okay, just a quick catch up on the irons. Neither one can control the temperature very well. At the 250 degree set point, the pink one controls somewhere between about 180 and about 300, and the white one's only marginally better. So I think I might have bombed on that. That's at the 250 range. If I try to set it to the 350 range or the 300 range, maybe I can get a bit better. I'm not going to do that right now because that's not where we're up to, or not where I'm up to. What I'm up to is I'm about to start putting the tapes on this wing, and I've decided to start right here in the middle. No good reason for it, just that, remember this, where this cable goes, this is a panel goes on here. Matter of fact, it's this panel. This panel goes on this wing, right in this location. I'm not going to put reinforcing tape on here because this is quite a big section to hold the fabric down. I will put it from about this point. I'm not going to put it that way. From about there down here, and it'll stop. There's a rivet just here somewhere. There's a rivet right there. So I'm going to stop prior to that rivet, so probably about 1/2 inch off the trailing edge. And that'll be the case on all of the ribs, they'll all be the same. So that's what I intend doing. So I'll start, actually I'll probably start back about here somewhere, just a little bit away from, there's a hole here, to attach the other part of that, that's this part. This part goes roughly about there. So there's a screw goes here and another one goes over there. So these two pieces come together like that. That's just how I decided to do it. Your aeroplane might be different. It's not to drawing, this is different to the drawing. It's just how I decided to do it. But anyway, that's where we're about to go. We're about to go put the reinforcing tapes that we started to have a look at last time down here, but they'll stop about there, and about there on this side, roughly the same spot, different rib. And I want to stop up here somewhere. They can stop anywhere north of this rivet. I guess they can maybe go up here, maybe an inch or so. Yeah, that'd work. But anyway, that's what's happening next. And then obviously the tapes can go on sometime after that. But let's do it. All right, we've started to put a couple of the tapes on. This one, I've done another couple here in the middle, a couple of short ones. And I'm just going to show you this one. There's the tape. I've measured from right there. I'm pretty sure you can see that. Just. To this line just here. Okay? And I've cut a piece of reinforcing tape that goes that length. Pretty good. I've done my line of best fit for the holes in the rib, and I've used my trusty soldering iron right here to block the holes through the fabric and into the rib. I've got to do it again yet once I put this reinforcing tape on, but that's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to install this piece of tape directly over the top of the rib like this. Of course, I want them cut as best I can, all the same length, so that they finish all in a straight line. Because somewhere along the line I'm going to put probably a wider piece of tape. This is 1.5 inches. I'm probably going to put 2 inch along the trailing edge here that'll cover the end of that tape, so the tape won't be tempted to lift up. It'll be held down by a piece of tape like this, but a little bit wider. A little bit wider, I've got, that's 1.5 inches. I've got 2 inch, and I've also got 3 inch. I'll make that decision with what it looks like at the time, but at the moment, probably 2 inch. So, to install this, what I'm going to do is paint my EcoBond straight down the middle here, on the top of the rib. This will attach the fabric to the rib, so I'm about to push this through the fabric and into the rib as well, or onto the rib as best I can with a piece of paper towel. Yeah, so this is how I do it. How you do it's entirely up to you, but this is how I do it. So you can look at what I do and go, hell, I don't know why he's doing it that way. I'm sure as hell not. Or, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Maybe I'll do it that way. But anyway, there's the glue. Here's the paper towel. I just fold it up, and I'm forcing the glue through the fabric and onto the rib. Like that. You don't want big piles of glue. It doesn't really help. Okay, so there we go. This is self-adhesive. The self-adhesive doesn't glue particularly well to the fabric, but it glues like crazy to the glue. Yeah, it sticks like crazy to that green stuff. Much better than it would just onto the fabric itself. And we come from not there, about there, the end of that, at the end of this leading edge skin. And we very carefully try and put this on as even as we can. You don't want it, snaking around all over the place. You want it as reasonable as possible. It's never going to be perfect, but you need it sort of reasonable. What I'm looking at is the tiniest little bit of gap on the end of the flange of the rib right here. That's lovely. Very good. Now the fun part comes trying to find those holes. It sometimes helps to put a light underneath and shine up through. I'll push the holes that I can see. I can definitely see one there. Yep, couldn't. There it is, right there. I can definitely see one there, and there, and there, and there. That one's not really in the middle. He's not doing very well. And there, there, and there should be one more. That's not in the middle either. Pick the fine one to video, obviously. And there should be one more that's virtually on this line, or almost on the line anyway, which is there. Righto. Now what I do next, and it's just me, I don't know that it really needs to be done, but I do it. I just take a little bit of our glue and whack it on where the rivets are going to go. Some there, and there, and there, and there. This is like belt and braces. Like I say, I don't think it needs it, but I do it. One of my foibles. And I also put some at the end of each end of the tape, so it's not tempted to lift up. This Eco Bond glues it down like Billy-O. Now take our big-headed aluminium rivets. I think whatever it is, 10 I think it is. And we can pull those up. They don't take very much to pull. They're aluminium stem and an aluminium head. Yeah, they pull pretty easily. For some reason or other, my pop rivet pliers don't like pulling them up. But these $3 rivet pliers have no problem whatsoever. They'll pull them. I don't know. It's just how life is sometimes, I guess. And these three, the last three over here. I'm pretty careful to keep the rivet tails as well. I just don't need to be fixing a car tyre or a aeroplane tyre. because I've run over a rivet tail that's laying on the ground. And there we go. Now, I'll just go along with a piece of paper towel and just remove any excess from around the rivet head. You will get some, but that's pretty much it. Like that. I marked 1.5 inches out here. This will be glued on next. A piece of finishing tape like that will be glued on next. Like I think I might have explained earlier in the video, there's really only need for one of these lines. If you've got 3/4 of an inch sticking out here, you're fairly good bet that you're going to have 3/4 of an inch sticking out there if this thing's 1.5 inches wide. So you really only need one line, and all these other ribs have only got one line marked. But that one, because I made it up as part of the demonstration for this video, I made 2 lines, but not necessary. You don't need it. Well, you may need it. I didn't. Yeah. Like everything, it's up to you. You work out what you need. And that's it. That's it for... I'll go ahead and do the others, and I'll do the other wing. And there's no need to see that over again, over and over and over. And that's it. We'll play on. Matter of fact, that might do us for this video. The previous 2 videos have been pretty long, and it's just not necessary. So I'm going to finish this one here, and I'll post it up tonight. So, as always, you know the rules. Get your feet off the ground if you can. And I'm not teasing you, but I did today because it was a perfect day. So yeah, but have a good weekend and enjoy. Bye now.